Okay.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back. We're just going to continue going over the week 3 projects, the movie posters. So this is Nina Miller's. I like what she's got. I think these are cute characters she has. I think she did all of these characters. Now I think it's great what she's got so far. Just the overall look is a little bit on the busy side. And these guys, watch the centering. This has got more space or less space over here than over here. So some of that where we could shift that, make it more centered, we want to do that. But I think, if we figure out how we could make this less busy, might not need all of this stuff here. You've got the tagline. This stuff could maybe be on the back, or maybe done in one line, or just some other way. But think about using that white space for what it's worth. And let's just kind of look at this, see. And this doesn't look ideal, but you kind of see what's now. We've got some room a little bit, and once we've got that breathing room, it starts to kind of feel a little bit more natural. So, other than some things in the layout, I think it's great what she's got, and I think this is definitely a successful piece. Maybe just needs a little bit of reworking here and there. But paying attention to those elements and how they line up. That on top. Even the fact that his ears were kind of getting crimped along the top there. I think kind of getting just stuffed right up against that. Oops. Anyway, so other than moving some of this around and kind of working on some of those basic composition things, I think this turned out quite good. You can see that just adding, though, like just some of these basic kind of, so we don't poke into the, we don't want to do too much of that. The owl's ears are pointy, so we're going to really notice it when it goes right close to something. So even if we got, I'm not doing a great job, but we can kind of see that we're adding to it, hopefully. That's not gonna, I'll just add some sort of character in here. Now we'll open a new one. At least it's supposed to. How strange. So anyways, maybe we can look at it like this. So do you see, like, it's that kind of thing where white space will really make this work a lot better. And that's all she was really lacking there. Hopefully this is visible. So it just adds, it kind of just helps declutter what's going on there. You can see we've just started here, but given those elements some space, giving not cramming text in every open space, I do like these background textures that you got going. So those are nice. And they don't have a lot of visual weight. They're kind of a nice background element that you're using to add to the layout, and it works really well, I think. But all this text, I mean, that's considerable weight, visual weight. So, you know, think about things like, can you put it on the back of the cover box? Or I know this is, I'm thinking it's a video cover box for a second. It's not, it's a poster. So, you know, where else can you put it? A lot of times, you know, when we think about that, it kind of starts falling into place. If we have to use this text, can we use it in a way that it's not taking up all of this white space? We give our main characters some room to breathe. That's what I'm trying to do here. So I think what you got's a really good start. Really like the cute characters that you have on here. I think those worked well, well put together. Just consider that white space. That's mainly it. Vicki, did you have anything to say on this one?
Yeah, I think I agree with you. Even if she took October 2016 and moved it, made it smaller as well, would create more white space.
Yeah, and a lot of these elements, if it'll definitely, I mean, I guess I don't have to do it, but sometimes you're right. It just, when you see it, instead of just talking about it, it really does kind of bring it to life. It's like, wow, yeah, that really does help. So yeah, there's just a few things that could use some adjustment like that. And now it's looking cluttery because I've got to cover that up. Well, there we go.
That looks so much better.
Yeah, and just a little bit more of that. I think we'd really have it with this one.
It looks good.
So I think I really do like the concept and the project, and even the taglines are funny. These are good. A real whodunit mystery, you know, tying it into the owl. And it's good. You want to put that kind of stuff. Maybe though, instead of like on multiple lines, maybe it works here. Maybe in a curve that kind of echoes this curve right here, and it's along the bottom. And it's like done in a font that's maybe even the same color, like you know, there's no curving baselines in this, but there's some curves in the background. You could do that. I can't really do it very easily in Photoshop. But,
Like in a script or something, that like a fun script would be nice.
yeah, we can try that. I'll just grab the old script. Here's kind of a hand-drawn one. Let's take this green, it's kind of a sage green she was using. What's going on here? I had my settings. I think it's just been hidden. So here, so she likes that. I like it. I think it's a good tagline. It's kind of tough to curve. I'd have to do this in Illustrator to get what I want. But you see how that doesn't really have a lot of weight to it, a lot of visual weight, because it's just the color is softer. It blends in with its background. Even if I don't curve it, it kind of works. I think it would work better to maybe do some wavy baseline. So it doesn't necessarily have to be the same as this. It could just be curved. Do something fun like that. But that's another thing. Like you can do that. You know, if it's like this, we've got a lot of that same dark, looks like a dark gray on the white. So that's really contrasty. But here we if you have to use this, or if you really want to use it, you know, there are solutions that we can go with for this, and that even still might be a little thick. But anyways, I kind of want to soften this edge here a little bit. Again, then I start going into this a little bit much. Maybe I can just filter. Gaussian blur. Anyway, that layer was covering up the old text. But, that didn't work so well. It could probably work better if I brush in here. I don't like that hard line there. It's kind of throwing it off. I'm not sure why that's. Anyway, I'm losing that. Anyway, hopefully you get the idea. I want to see that lettering. I just kind of block that out really fast, but that could be subtle. Maybe it could be a brown or something instead of the green. But you can see that adds less to the busyness. This high contrast on the light background, boy, does that ever pop out at you. So you know, keep that in mind if you do want the text. Think contrast, and do you want it to really pop, or is it kind of like a subtle thing, like that somebody reads when they're closer to the poster? It's not necessarily pulling you over there and really getting your attention, but you know, it still may be important, but not as important. A real whodunit might be just kind of additional tagline, I guess you would call it. So just keep in mind all that space. Again, the case of the missing caterpillar, really close to that G. That's just my breathing. It's constricting when you look at when you've got really small space like that for your leading. You're just scraping right up against this. You want to avoid things like that. Give it some breathing room, or maybe a creative, clever treatment. Maybe you could even do kind of more of the wavy baseline that we're talking about, but have to go into Illustrator. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to say ideas that you might consider. Maybe you could do that here and even do that up here with the tagline. Or maybe since that's the tagline and you're going to have that with the movie poster everywhere, you want it in this darker, emphasized treatment. It's kind of, can be up to you. Other times it could be up to your marketing director who wants this tagline to, you know, be pronounced with the title. Again, the descender, the Y, collision to the I. You just want to avoid that collision. And if you like the rest of the spacing, like here it works out because there's no descenders, but here they collide. edit the Y, or maybe even the I. Make the I smaller and the Y a little bit higher if you like the rest of that placement. But right now, I loosen up on your leading, figure out where you can add more breathing room to this, balance it so here it should be, that tagline should be centered. It's just minor technical stuff, but it's important. You've got to pay attention to that stuff, definitely. And there's a lot of stuff to pay attention to, so it's really important to pay attention to everything, or at least strive to as much as you can when you're a student, because a lot of times you can forget things like this and it goes to print, and that's the first thing people are going to notice and everybody will notice that. Everyone from your kids to people that are putting those posters up in their venues. Why isn't this lined up? It should be. That type of things you definitely want to get a handle on. Really, be rigid about it when you're a student. Make sure you kind of make every effort to pay attention to things like that, alignment and margins, white space, all those basics, very, very important. So I kind of I liked her concept and everything, but it's unfortunately a lot of those things that we do as designers, they can ruin a really good concept if you don't pay attention to those. So anyways, hopefully that gives you some ideas as well as just other ways to handle this. But I do like she's got going, looking good. Let's see. This one's good. So I really liked the way she put this one together. The colors are really great. It's all fun and games until someone gets catfished. Lucky ace. I guess that is a term these days. It's like the show Catfish on MTV about people not being who they really are on the internet. These love relationships going way too far. And then he goes and confronts them. Anyways, I used to watch that show many years ago.
I like this one. She did a good job.
Yeah, doesn't it look really professional? This is like something I could definitely see. I mean, even like, yeah, the way that they're arranged, and it's just very, very well done.
Yeah.
The typeface selections, the only thing that was an issue that I did mention on this one, and it's minor, but it's kind of like one of those things. This is called an ellipsis, the 3 dots. There's supposed to be 3 and not more than that, not 5. So that's pretty minor compared to like how great a job she did on this overall thing. I mean, it really came together well.
It's a rule of thumb, right? 3 dots.
3 dots, yeah. And I think you can even shortcut that on some keyboards, some fonts will have a shortcut dot. Like option shift something, option shift period or something like that. And it'll be 3 of them. But yeah, 3 is all you want. And I like her color scheme is great, and I like these 3 characters and the arrangement of them. And
yeah, I like how the light blue ties in with the lettering of light blue. She has the light blue in the background and the light blue on the title.
Yeah, it's great. These
coloring is great.
The splashes of color back here bring us back kind of, and around this, like you can see, like if you were to take those out, it wouldn't be as strong of a composition. So she did a really good job with composing all of these dry brush marks back here. And those colors really kind of add to it in a way that it really works. So I thought this was a really well done poster. So this is Alicia Paris. And yeah, she did an amazing job with this.
What is right above the word ace? That real small, fine.
It is luckyace.com.
Oh, okay. Awesome.
So yeah, we can, that's
The website? Okay.
You could, www is optional. You could just say luckyace.com. Some people still like to put it in there, but you know, everybody knows if you see .com, it's www. So I don't know. You could say it's not needed, but.
And I actually really like that she put the caption or the the, what do you call it? Ice cube and all that in white, because it doesn't take away from the other stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't, at first I thought you can't hardly read it, but actually I think it looks good, because if it was in a different color, it would kind of distract from the rest of the poster, I think.
Yeah. Good observation, definitely. As long as you can read it, you're fine. But yeah, here it's kind of like these are secondary, and you don't want to direct. Imagine if it was that dark blue, for example, it would pull our attention down there a lot more. That contrast would really kind of. We want to read the title. Zoom out. That's the most important thing down here. And that was kind of the issue on your project, Vicki, was that text. I mean, I guess you can, as long as you can read it, as long as you're not like really struggling to read it. You got to find that balance between.
Yeah, I think mine was very hard to read. I think it just needed a little bit darker font so that you can read it.
Yeah.
But this one, I think she did a great job. I have no complaints about it, except for the 3 dots.
Yeah. The 5 dots instead of 3. Well,
yeah,
now
right.
she knows she'll always use 3 dots now.
Yeah.
So the other thing too is these names up here. I think they kind of work. Usually, like we talk about emphasis. I kind of like how they're echoing here, but I think it works. I think you have that tie-in at the top and bottom.
She's being very consistent with everything she does on the poster, with color.
Yeah, I just love this one. This could definitely be like a real poster.
Yeah, I agree.
So awesome job on that one. Spirits of Chesterville. Visually sumptuous and chilling. Again, this turned out good. We've got. One of my things was this. Too much white space up here. So it just felt like it was. If we had him, our main character, moved back here just a little bit, or if you couldn't do that, maybe this ghostly character could be a little more over here. But this area here just felt kind of is missing something. But the rest of it I do like. I think I think it's good overall. I think I can't really do much on it to, as we say, like actually be able to look at, because when we see things, it's a different story than.
I'm confused. It looks like she should be behind the guy, or
Yeah, it was. I was a little confused by that
Is that his
apparition.
shoulder or is it? I can't tell.
Yeah, she like coming out of this. Now to me, it's kind of looking more balanced because there's something over here.
It feels like that's his shoulder right there. I don't understand. I can't tell really.
Yeah. So she was maybe over here. I mean, now it's hard to see because I'll have to get rid of that. This isn't going to look so great, but hopefully give us the idea of whether or not it works. Yeah, I was confused as well with that. I was like, is that ghostly apparition supposed to be, what exactly is supposed to be happening? I think she may have wanted him to be on his shoulder, but maybe it works better. I still think she's a little far out, but maybe she's right here. So now there's kind of a sense of balance going on, I think. But still, I'd probably want him, and maybe not, depends. So I want him to be a little bit more to the right, like he's too far out of frame. So unless you're really trying to create tension here, I probably wouldn't do this treatment. I'd move him more toward the center. You can have a little bit of tension, but right here it's almost like too much because his corner of his eye is like right on the edge. So it's almost, maybe you want to go for that visually sumptuous and visually chilling. So it's definitely an odd, kind of uncomfortable placement of him. If you brought him just a little bit more to the right, I think that could balance this a little more. Otherwise, it works. I think it just needs a few element shifts, and I think you might have something pretty good. Any comments on this one, Vicki?
I'm not sure about the font, or maybe because it's red. I don't know. Of the title.
Yeah, Spirits of Chesterville.
Um,
It's a little creepy.
it is.
Maybe that's what she was going for.
Yeah. Maybe if it was in black.
It might look better black.
I think she's probably looking for the blood type of thing.
I think she probably is.
Yeah.
I guess it could be black.
It's pretty interesting, though.
Yeah, I think you're right about the black, I think, too. That might actually, if I can do it fast, I'll do it. A little better. I think you're right. The red and blue is kind of weird. I wouldn't mind it if it was a heavier font as well.
Right.
So, you know, it's kind of hard to just work with pieces that you have and try to get this to work as you want it. I don't know if she's supposed to be on his shoulder, but there it almost looks like she's in the doorway and on his shoulder.
Right.
I think we're making improvements. See her a little bit more. But, you know, that could work as it is. And then if you do that, then still got to kind of consider the balance of this. So does it work if we do like this? Obviously, it's we have to, well, we can figure that we can read the whole word, but I'm just looking at it visually. The of's a little smaller. I don't know. We can still read that and pretend we can still read of. Still kind of missing something over here, but if we put some sort of award, let's say, or a tagline or an award, which actually we had before, didn't we? Yeah, so I don't have, whoops, that's, now we're kind of getting balance. Still a hole right here. A little bit. Don't even get that background, but I might do something like this. I don't know. I just keep kind of playing around with things until something works. So now we've got more balance going on. We use elements like that, line these up. Something like so. So if I'd want to make these work a little bit better with background, I just cut them up. Now he kind of works if he's on that edge of the frame, but you know, we did all that to compensate for the fact that Indian is way out here. Native
Looks like
American.
it flows a lot better now.
Yeah, good. I think it's getting there. And if we wanted it to be that way, we can have them that way and be clear out here, but then we've got to compensate with our other elements in these kind of dramatic ways, extreme ways. So it's kind of coming together a little bit. I'm not happy with it yet, but I would keep working on it more so that if you did have this treatment, which, you know, it could be interesting if that's really kind of something you want to work with. But just make sure that you kind of balance those elements in other ways. And His head's supposed to be up in front of him, but that should probably be a harder edge. But anyway, hopefully you get the idea. And again, I'm not sure if she is supposed to be on his shoulder or not. I guess if that's part of the story, those are some challenges that you end up having to work with. You know, this apparition has to be, that's part of the story, so we've got to show that. But can we show it in a more creative way or different way than necessarily is done exactly in the film?
Right. I like it. Looks good.
So, yeah.
How long are you going to continue teaching today?
I am actually going to wrap things up probably. Right. I don't know. Do we want to go over anymore? Like I say, if anybody wants me to go over there, send me an email today, and I'll go over it in tomorrow's session. Because there's a few that I didn't really get to.
There's some really good ones.
There is some really good ones. I mean, everybody did just about everybody that turned one in did a really good job on this. So
yeah, they did.
That one was interesting.
Yeah.
With all the lines on it.
I wish everybody was in class so we can talk about it.
Yeah, would be cool.
Yeah.
There's always tomorrow if you want to talk about this tomorrow. Because really, I don't know that we can talk about a few. I don't think the composite, well, a lot of times, though, compositing does take a longer time than it would seem. We can look at this one. I did like the dramatic effect that this one had with the lines, really, and just interesting the way that these are all coming out at you. And it's just these blinds. It's just a window.
That's very good.
I really liked it. It doesn't look like they used, well, they did use steel tone fonts, but it's a little bit small. I like how it lines up, though, with this.
Right.
Again, and that might be fine. This person, Bianca Patterson, chose to show it this way, and that's fine. It's not necessarily wrong, but if it's really too hard to read, then, it's probably wrong. For credits, I think you want to be able to see those. Now, where you're using size, consider you could also use have it the regular size and make it a gray instead of a white, so you're working with the contrast.
Right.
But this will just be my last one that I'll go over. And I don't really have much to say about it because it's quite good. It came together well. It's scary. It's definitely tells the story. I know what this is about, or I have at least enough of an idea that it's something I might want to see, and it's like it's got enough of a mysterious element to it that it's kind of like makes me want to know more about it.
Right.
I think, and I'm not really sure what she put together on this, but definitely effective. The way that we're brought right into this central character here. He's looking out this city window. Tells us where we are. It's the that's not a rural neighborhood, and we can know that by looking at these shapes of city buildings. So there's the setting right there. We're probably in someone's apartment, probably this person's apartment. We get an idea of what this film is all about. We don't know exactly, but there's mystery, but we know what's going on for the most part. So I don't really have much else to say, but I did like this arrangement, how she put this together.
Yeah, I like it.
The only thing, probably like names, credits up here would probably be instead of no introduction needed, put names up here.
Yeah, I would put the actors' names. Would have been cool.
Yeah, you always want actors' names, even though they're here, probably. I almost always want to introduce your movie with actors' names, even if they're unknown names. It's just kind of traditional. If you're looking at most of the other projects, you almost always see the names as, shown in a relatively important place or pronounced way. That's one thing, yeah, probably you noticed by doing the copies of the assessment this week. That in almost all cases, they'll have those names of the stars. Another reason they do that is because if it's a small show and one of those actors gets big, that sells that movie, and they don't have to go back and make a bunch of updates to it. So I think, movies are just all about the stars. You, in all cases, going to want to have those names on the poster.
All right.
So I guess that's my spiel for today. I think that's all I'll say on that one. I think good job on that one, Bianca. Do you have any other comments or?
No, I think that's good. The I wasn't say white space, but it's actually black space is really good on there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really balanced nicely.
Yeah, it is. White space, you can say it, or sometimes people say negative space.
Negative space.
Or spacing. All of the above works. But yeah, it's just that space that kind of lets us kind of rest from element to element. It works good. She did a good job with the spacing.
She did.
All right.
All right.
Well, that's all I have. So if you don't have any other questions, I guess we'll wrap things up here.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Thanks.
Okay. See you tomorrow.
Okay. See ya. Thanks everyone for watching, and have a good day.